changing lives.
And welcome to the Law Chamber, where, legal matters are discussed from a Christian perspective. My name is Anita Delight, and I'm with my interpreter, my sign interpreter, Atanya Meche. Today's discussion is going to be unique, and you will understand why very, very soon. But today is season 2, episode 10. That's the grand finale for season 2. So meaning that after today, we'll be going for a break. And God willing, let's say by May, June, thereabout, we'll be back with season 3. So if you have any questions, any topics you want us to discuss legally, please, you can send your questions to us. Okay. So whilst we are having a discussion, maybe you've experienced it, you are going through it, you let us know. Or maybe season 3, there are specific areas you want us to touch more on. Maybe during the previous episodes, you didn't really understand it well. Or something has come up that you want us to clarify more. So you send us the message, and then we'll let you know when we'll be doing it so that you can tune in. At the end of the day, it's about education. So what's the point of being seated here with my guest if we finish everything and you don't think as if you've been enlightened in any way? That's not what we want. So let's get your feedback. So 0235 371287. The number 0235 371287. Let's hear from you. And if you have then hearing impairments, I know we have a sign interpreter. So all you need to do is send your audio or your video to this particular number, and then we'll have a discussion. Maybe you have an idea how to make the program better for season 3. Please join us and let us have fun with this program while we learn. So last week we discussed how to acquire immovable properties. So we looked at immovable properties, and we said that immovable properties are the landed properties. So it can be a land, it can be a house, it can be a farm. Those things you can't move. We showed you how you can acquire those things. You don't just stand up one day, you see a land, I want to buy a land. Then the person will say, come and put something down. They put something down. Then you are there, the land guards will come. No. That's not how we took you through the steps you have to go through. And most importantly, we use the word due diligence. You go to the Lands Commission to be sure whose name is there. You go to court to be sure that there's no encumbrances or their issue is not in court. You go to the area to ask who the land belongs to before you buy the property. You understand? And you don't give the money, the full amount to the person. You see, there has to be a contractual agreement of sale. I want to buy this land for this amount, blah, blah, blah. So I'm putting part payment down. When you give me possession, when I go onto the land, I give you part of the money. And then when you transfer from your name to my name at the Lands Commission, I give you the rest of the money. You understand? So you don't, 5,000 Ghana cedis worth of land, they give the person 5,000 Ghana. Why would the person give the land to you? You have to be smart in these times because it's not easy. Now, it's not easy. So today, we are going to discuss movable properties. Last week was immovable properties. Today is movable properties. So at least you have an idea what we are going to discuss, right? So what movable properties are, the types we have, the current condition of our movable properties in the country, how to safeguard them. It's going to be an interesting discussion, but let me just say this before we move on. One of my guests is late. He's not in yet. So if he is unable to join us, he'll be joining us via Zoom and then have a discussion. But if he's not able to join us, don't worry. I have an able lady here. She will break everything down. And it's going to be more interactive, more of a discussion. So if you have any experience or you have an expertise in this particular area, please share with us. Okay, share with us. We need to know what is really going on in respect to our movable properties in Ghana. So let me introduce my lady. Makasa Bebre. Yeah, easy. Let me introduce my lady. Like, is it Kezia? Is it Kezia? Like, everybody seems to pronounce it differently.
Kezia.
Kezia. Oh, okay. Kezia. That's like in the correct. So I have Kezia with me. Kezia Kenneth Azuma. Yes, she is a lawyer. She's a member of the Ghana Bar Association. She's also a member of the Greater Accra Ghana Bar. She's a partner and lawyer with Light Associates Unlimited. So she has a law firm and she is a partner there. She's a member of FIDA Ghana and an executive member of the Christian Lawyers Fellowship in Ghana. And then she's also on their board in Africa. Oppositions also. How do you do all that to combine with work?
Grace and then delegation.
Delegation?
Yes.
What does that mean?
First, I pray a lot. I commit all the various roles that I have into God's hands consistently. Then I don't do everything by myself. I have people who do a number of things for me, and I zero down on the ones that nobody else can do. That's how I operate.
Then it means you have to get people you really do trust.
Yes, I do.
In Ghana's economy and system, you still get people you can trust that much.
Yes, I have. And it comes with time. A few times you get bent. Consistently as we move along life's path, I've learned to embrace people and sometimes to let them go and keep learning. Continue to walk in love, because that's what the scripture says we should do. For some people, when they get disappointed, then they close their doors permanently. No. Before we came on set, I'll share with you how my day went today. I have reprimanded those ladies. I may suspend them a few days or sometimes a few hours. And we go back to the drawing board and we continue life. That's how I keep working.
That's good.
Yeah.
And I like the part where you said that some people shut the doors permanently, because when you're bent like that, you tend to recoil and you want to...
Yes, I agree that some of the disappointments can be grave, depending on, because I'm a family woman as well. Yeah. I have biological children.
Yeah.
I am married. So you will need help in the domestic front, you need help with your office, you need help with your Christian duties at different locations and places where you consistently have a responsibility, and you have people are expecting a certain level of delivery from you. Okay, so at all of those places you must delegate some and do some, delegate some and do some, delegate some and do some. Okay, and you must holistically deliver and not lack on all the fronts, because a false balance is an abomination. Proverbs says so. Praise the Lord. You get the point.
I do.
So, I don't know how I have managed, but that is what it is.
It is what it is. It is what it is.
I think that's the grace of God.
I think we should have a topic. Maybe one of these days we'll have a topic where we'll discuss how lawyers combine work. Not just lawyers, let's say professionals. How they combine the home, the office.
Especially professional women.
Yeah, it's a whole work. All right. So now let's zoom in. Now we're going to talk about movable properties. Maybe I made a pan day, but let me start from the basics. When we talk about movable properties, what are we looking at?
So because our audience are, for me, I look at my audience today as very lay people. I'm not considering that our audience are lawyers. Movable property, I would just say that it is property that you can... It's not attached to land, and you can move from place to place. So, for example, this table is a movable property. This chair is a movable property. We call it household chattels in law. The television in your house is your property. Your video camera, your telephone, your whatever is not attached to the land is a movable property. So your cars, your investments, your shares, all of that combined, just that they are categorized under
So
the law
we can have the
differently.
domestic ones, which are the
Yes.
cars and the tables and
Yes,
all that.
the chairs, the
And
sofa,
then
the
we
bed.
have the underbiscuit one, which will be the shares, the treasury bills,
Yes.
and the bonds that we don't know what our bonds are worth now.
Yes.
We'll discuss that. So, okay, so those are movable properties.
Yes.
So it means that when someone is thinking of acquiring
In
properties,
fact, even a dress,
yeah,
a shoe,
if it's Gucci,
a bag.
if it's Gucci, if it is the shoe of my dear Hennessy, but if it's Gucci, we are looking at about $5,000, $6,000. That's
It's not even about Gucci. You see, you and I know that when we are writing wills for people, we add all of that. For some of the people,
maybe if you give me table, you give me a chair, you give
some
me your
people will
dresses.
add their chattels and say that I have a document that says nobody should move anything from the matrimonial home. It is in the man's will.
Hey.
I'm telling you, I mean, so many things happen.
Yeah.
He said nobody should move.
Yeah. Yeah. So when people are thinking of acquiring properties, all they think about is land. But there are more properties, and that is a landed property, and that is good. But there are other kinds of properties you can acquire.
Yes.
Because I had a senior who was into watches. And the kind of watches he was buying, and then when he sells one, he can buy a whole house with it.
Yes.
And some were into jewelry, other kind of jewelry.
And some are into paintings.
Paintings. That
And
one's are here.
artifacts.
And
all of that are
we are
movable
showing how
properties.
to invest your money. Oh. Yeah, these are part of showing how to invest your money. Don't think about just land. But one thing about movable properties is that it's dangerous because it's movable. Someone can easily steal it.
Correct. And then you can even buy jewelry like rings, bracelets,
Yeah, those
the
gold.
things, gold, diamonds, silver that you can keep. And I know some people whose assets are like that. They have bought jewelry, and that is what they put in their will. They said, all my gold trinkets and my earrings and all that I give to my granddaughters.
Wow.
Yes. So you can do
It's
all
like a
of
heirloom,
that.
like
Yes.
giving to
Yes.
the next generation.
Yes, you do all of that and then you pass it on. We do that as well.
So let's look. So when you want to acquire such movable properties, how do you acquire them? So we are looking at if you want to acquire land, a car. Of course, you buy the car, you get the papers, you go to DVLA, you go and have it registered in your name and all that. Then if you want to buy these jewelries, it's quite straightforward. And I know that with bonds and treasury bills and all that, you can go individually or you can go to the bank for the bank to help you do all that. But looking at this from the legal perspective, really, when you are acquiring these properties, do you think you need a lawyer?
Yes, in fact, from when you are born to when you die, we are always in your matter. We are in your face. We are in your case because law governs everything from the time we are born to the time that we die. And you may not understand the importance of a lawyer until you are in trouble. You see, I have had situations where people come to us and say, I paid him $20,000 for a Highlander. This was about 7 years ago, 8 years ago, a matter that I handled. The person paid $20,000 for a Highlander. That's what the dealer said he was going to charge. Then the dealer also said he should also send him 16,000 cedis for clearance. The man did that, only for the dealer to do 419. And this is not somebody that he didn't know. They were in the same circles, friends, okay? So we actually had to take such a matter to court. So what we are advising you to do in such a situation is that, first of all, before you go into dealership with somebody for a car of that value, now that $20,000 may be maybe twice or thrice the amount. Search for the track record of your dealer. Do some underground work. My sister was talking about due diligence. Due diligence is just investigation, a little bit of investigation. Find out whether or not he delivers. Find out whether or not how much time would it take and things like that. And when you engage a lawyer, the lawyer can even start by writing to the dealer and say, my client is interested in A, B, C, D. And then use his office to transact the business. You are covered.
So, are you saying that they can't do lawyers 419?
Oh, they can do as 419, but I've seen that the way the law is crafted and the limited experience I have in practice, when you go through the lawyers, you are more covered than when you go alone.
So, yeah.
You see, even if the lawyer just writes a letter on your behalf and says, my client wants A, B, C, D, so provide E, S, G, H. All the timelines are there from the beginning. I think you would be saving yourself more than if you just go on your own and things like that. Now, I'm not saying that there are no shady lawyers.
Of course.
I haven't said that. The point I'm making is that find reliable lawyers. Let them help you negotiate for the things that you are looking for. Let them write a few letters for which you will pay a little money. It becomes cheaper than if you had to go to court to retrieve 20,000 USD, interest on that amount, 16,000 Ghana,
Damages
and those kind of things. And sometimes to, forgive me, but by the time you are done with the court, you are done with all of that, all the value of that money is going to zero, you see. Sometimes too, people use the lawyers even in those situations, but things still get bad. But I think that the due diligence part, the trail of the transactions and all that, if you are buying gold too, check with other people who are actually dealers so that you are not sold Abyssinia.
True.
Because that is also common. People come into our country and they are told that they are being sold gold, only to go open the box and the thing is something else. Because they thought they were hiding it from all of us.
They were smart. They were smart in the whole system.
As much as possible.
I had a client like that actually. They brought the gold in the box. They brought the gold and everything, and he thought it was really gold. And so we drafted the agreement and everything. And then he was about to do a transaction with it. And they went the thing and they said the amount of gold in it is so little that this whole bulk of it is not gold. And I was like, if it's not gold, what is it? And they said that it's a shiny object. You see? And I was seated there and I came into the contract late. He had already bought that thing already. I was sitting there looking at his face. And yes, member is so. You understand? The man doesn't cry. But you could see that they need the other things. And he's your client. You can't laugh. And you too. That scene was a pathetic one. So all we are saying is that movable properties are indeed properties. They are good properties. But be careful when you acquire them.
And there is nothing wrong with having a flair for, let's say, jewelry.
Yeah.
And deciding that instead of putting your money in some places where they'll come and tell you that something, you would invest in these other things. You will invest in these other things, which are also going to appreciate.
Yeah.
I mean, if your children grew up and your grandchildren grew up, so that, hey, grandma left us so and so, wow. They will never forget you. Because by the time they change that jewelry into something, oh, they've bought their house.
Usually, I like the fact that it becomes a generational heirloom.
Yes.
That from the daughter to the next daughter to the next daughter. And you see, great-great-great-granddaughters, and they'll be having this particular ring or jewelry, and they'll tell you it's for my great-great-great-grandmother.
Yes.
And I'm like, what was my great-great-grandmother doing?
I have witnessed a will personally where the woman said, in fact, the woman didn't have daughters, but she had granddaughters. She said, all my jewelry, my gold, whatever, she described them, they go to my granddaughters. Straight up.
Let's be fair. How much will a lawyer charge for these services ordinarily? Let's use a car as a transactional object. Okay,
so if a lawyer of my standing, I've done 10 years.
Hey, you come here, notary public.
By the grace of God, we shall get there.
We will get there. We'll get there.
So, if a lawyer of my standing is talking with you, the scale of fees is maximum 2,000. You see. But I think that a lot of lawyers are very reasonable. That's what I think. And I am not looking at the monetary aspect. I was having an argument with someone this morning. I told her that I'm interested in relationships, you see. I think that what we should let the society or our viewers understand is that you are better off having a lawyer that you can run to morning, afternoon, evening, because you treat them well, you talk to them nicely, you are kind occasionally. Christmas hampers, you are coming. Hampers. Easter, you are bringing water.
Periodically,
like that.
You send something.
You are greeting often. And then if you can do, I mean, this one, I don't know what I'm permitted to say, but some of my clients pay with service.
Yeah.
With the things that they can also do for you. So sometimes without you asking them, they say, oh, lawyer, you know my situation. You see what you are doing, this project, I will do this. This is my field, so I will do this for you. And then for me, it moves me to I say, hey, wow. Then somebody says, hey, lawyer, the case you are doing for my mother, I can so I'm coming to show you this one so that you will see whether you would like it. You see? Yes, I've met people like that in my line of work. And for me, it moves me. I don't know about other people. But I think that we are not unreasonable.
But we need money to
no, the monies come. The people who have the monies, they would come. They would sign a check.
You see that thing. Okay, so now let's move on to some of the other.
You see, but the point I was making is that a lot of people do not want to deal with lawyers at all. In fact, they will do all these transactions secretly. It is when there is trouble. Then they come. Then by the time you are in trouble, it's so expensive.
And difficult.
Because now you can't even dodge. You must use the law. You see? And the fact that you are crying doesn't mean that we will not chop. We will chop. Yes, that is a fact. I think we should let that one
we even chop more when you are in trouble.
Yes, because that one, it becomes a desperate matter. But if I write a letter for you, and I've told you these kind of things, and the letter can save you a hell, why would you come and negotiate? Let me write that letter. Let me frighten him from the beginning that this thing that you are coming to collect, if you do this, the police will come, this will come, and that will come. And the letters that we write, I mean, they are very powerful. They move things.
Yeah, they do. They do.
You see?
They do.
So don't be running away, and the lawyers are somewhere, and this and this and this. If you go to a lawyer who is somewhere, change them.
Yeah.
It's a free market. And please, we are not saying that we are marketing ourselves. But change your lawyers and keep moving.
Let me talk about other kinds of movable properties.
Okay.
Currently, we can't have the discussion without the current happenings in the country.
Yes.
Since I can remember, I've always been told by my financial friends that lending to the government is one of the safest, most productive, rewarding,
with smallest risk.
Yes, that you can. So I remember people were talking when I was in the university. People would get their money and they are doing treasury bills. Me, I was chopping the money anyways, but they were doing treasury bills. They were doing bonds. They were doing through the bank, sometimes individually. Sometimes going to the stock market to go and buy stocks from companies and all that. As we speak now, we are being told of something called haircut. In a nutshell, the government says, you've lent me money, yes, but I'm not going to pay at the time I'm expected to pay. And apart from not paying at the time I'm expected to pay, I'm going to pay at the time I want without a discussion with you. I'm going to pay the interest I want to pay without discussion with you. And they are putting in place laws, and we are lawyers here, they are putting in place laws that should you even run to the court today, you can't find any remedy. So the question then is, how safe are we? Because if the government can't save me and protect me, why should I do movable properties? Maybe I should go and do immovable. That's why people are doing land. Because the movables seem not to be risk-free after all. Do you have any bonds?
I have treasury bills.
They say it's untouchable. They'll touch it.
No, I know they'll touch it.
Or it's just a matter of time.
I have advised myself.
What do you think about it?
In fact, ladies and gentlemen, this is not my specialty. So I want to do a disclaimer.
Yes.
And to say that my first degree was in management. So I understand a little bit of these areas. But I think my biggest fear is the fact that you wake up one morning and you're expecting the bond to be repaid, let's say December of 2023, then they say they'll pay it in 2025. When you have budgeted and planned your life accordingly, you see. For me, I want to use your platform to say that the way things are going, if the government does not resolve the matter quickly, it will force the citizenry to go back to the times when they stopped banking.
False. I now have Susu box in my room.
Where the people stopped
please,
banking.
the thieves in my area, you will not know where it is, so don't come there.
Yes, because that is how I feel about what's going on. Okay, so forgive me, when we are lawyers, we don't speak to issues when we have not seen the law. As in, my sister was saying that the laws are being made to make it compulsory that if you don't agree.
No, as in you can't resort to them. Because the idea is that, because frankly speaking, when I went to my bankers, they were saying that the first thing I called some of my friends, and they were like, "Shall I go fast in Jessica?" But the whole thing is that the court's supposed to be the last resort. But if it should go through, the court cannot. Should I say the court cannot save us? The court cannot give me my money.
Because they are limited by a certain provision of your law?
Yes. You see, so let's look at it from this angle. Some friends, let's have a discussion. I want us to have a discussion. And some friends went to the bank.
Okay.
And so they were made to sign some agreements.
Okay.
And I was like, "Did you read the agreement?" He said, "No." I'm like,
"No.
How do you sign without reading? Please, when your bankers call you to come and sign so that you be part of it, please, don't sign any document you've not read." And the second thing is they don't give you a copy. How do you sign documents, not have a copy, and then you sign and you turn away from the place? How do you know you've not signed your whole worth away? And I was listening to a gentleman.
And the writings are very small. And you know that the Borrowers and Lenders Act.
Yes.
Is against such practices. Yes. But still, they are doing that. Because one of the provisions of that act is that you must be able to explain to the borrower what they are putting themselves into. You must explain the type of interest and its repercussions on their future earnings and things like that. You must be sure that they have the capacity to repay and all of that. You see, do an assessment over the other person. And in recent times, a husband cannot come and use his matrimonial home as collateral without the wife's consent. Unfortunately, I have had a personal experience where a banker approached me and said, "Oh, I want you to look at this document." I said, "Bring the parties, let me explain to them." Because that's what the law is saying. He never brought the parties, he's moved on. I believe he's found another lawyer. I said, "No, if the property is lost, I can be, sanctioned. Or, it will stay on my conscience for the rest of my life." So the woman who is the wife, she must understand what the partner has gone into and be ready and say, "Okay, I also agree that the matrimonial home should be signed off as collateral." The banker didn't return. And I know that document will be signed by another person. Because the first thing he came to say, "Lawyer, how much? Lawyer, how much? And I said, "No, it's not about how much. It's about doing the right things under the law. It's about what my job is under the law." So the law says, explain to the other party, tell them, have a meeting with the two of them, and then be sure that they both agree, be sure that they want to go that way, be sure this and that and that. The people didn't come back. And another person will sign it and move on. So when you are dealing with whether or not you are investing, whether or not you are selling, whether or not you are doing a mortgage, whether or not you are using your properties for collateral, no matter how hot you may be, you should always look at the situation where you have consulted a lawyer and you are sure, because whether it is from the banks, whether it is from the insurance companies, they will come after you and be trumpeting the advantages to you, and they will keep the
pitfalls.
What is the name of those clauses, Clara?
Yeah.
The difficult clauses. Yeah. There's a name for those clauses. They will keep it away from you, and then it will become more and more and more expensive. So I remember a time where I did a matter where the collateral was, somebody wanted the collateral to be the land she had given her Yes.
A gift?
Yes. She bought property in trust of her son. She wanted a bank loan. She wanted to use that property as collateral. The bank said no. Go to court. Let the court give you permission. And that is what stopped her. Because the bankers called me and they said, Madam, she may lose the property. And right now, because it's in trust for the child, it's not for her. So let a court say we can do that. So you have to always cross-check, Make sure that you are protected. All this is we're talking about law. It's not like someone wants to do you for one and collect your money. That's not the job of lawyers. We don't do that. What we do is to protect you, advise you, guide you, lead you. You see? And make sure that your losses are curtailed. So for example, if you have an issue with this bond matter, go and see your lawyers.
We the lawyers who are inside, we are not seeing it. We are going to see us. What can we do?
No, but you see, the individual bondholders, they've been able to get out.
And actually, we'll come there right away. Let's go for the short commercial break. Because we'll be talking about the individual bondholders. So, and say, apart from dining assassin farms, what means saying property for frosso. When you pay Japadia with me, we'll be on gold watch, we'll be into watches. Now, watch papa or Toma coat me this dine. Obisu DNA shoes, obisu DNA painting. Nini a Japadia out me. Ebisu ako bank, ako treasury bills. Ebisu bonds. Ni I can say bonds no wom. Na abai no. My issue, but and also a form of properties are betting me enya. Now, who yes, our properties na ya show who ye. Oh, land the end of the day, obeti maybe our land, but land in the beho. But once I watches ne winning the idea, painting is animal, obeti maybe a brown, obeti any cars, be into cars. Who show be about you say, hey, car, nobody didn't way in a wakoto. And also, a kind of property away no. Into who the any assassin, obi the car, obi a koto bent. Obi a koto bent. Charlie, that car is nice. Obi a koto bent. What did I say? Inti nini yake Japadia no. But you see, you be kwa shop break biaba. You buy bondholders no, individual there no. I saw more than protected. Na I say no more call pension so no workers union for it to be protected. Now you call through the banks na you are training. You call for this short commercial break. We'll right back and have that discussion.
Nia onyankopon hwehwa ne se onipa bia bedi yie e wasase so eno ti adwuma bia wo ye no wo hia ho nindie ene nkyerɛkyerɛ papa mpanifo se sanwa beba kontomre enkwan ani a na ejinemu nam so eno nti na Hope Channel edi dwuma dia ye friend se business forum abrewo ya wada nwumre no nwotwe bia me kyerɛ 8 pm hia me na nakwa mesika me ne mpanifo a wa ben no wado sukɔ e wo sikasemu adwadie mu any enyuma mu be sinkonya ni amount kyerɛkyerɛ papa ebeboa na nso watimi atumpon piao.
Hello, my cherished viewers. You are welcome to the program Soldier of the Cross. God is always faithful, and therefore be faithful even when you feel like God is not faithful. we are beginning a new series which we have captured, Hear, O ye child of the Lord. And all these sermons will get you connected to God. There's going to be a broadening of your knowledge, a deepening knowledge about God. And in the end, you are going to be a blessing generator. A blessing generator to yourself and to others. I would rather challenge you that choose faith over worry. Until then, until I come your way, until we meet on that day, stay blessed and be blessed. God richly bless you. Ahua.
Soldier of the Cross, showing this and every Sunday at 7:30 p.m.
Welcome back. So we've had this discussion, and we do know that with the bonds, we have the individual bondholders, and we have those who went through the banks, and then we have the treasury bills. We also do know that for now, the treasury bills is untouchable. We're told the bonds will be untouchable. It's been touched. We are being told the treasury bills is untouchable. The wise. Okay, so the individual ones have been protected. And Kezia, frankly speaking, I'm thinking that it's because individual, you know how they came together and they were giving ultimatums and giving options. Is it that the banks can't do same for us because of the peculiar situation they find themselves, because they are institutions, and so they might be victimized?
I don't think so. I think that there's power in numbers, and there's power in the voice of the people. So what I find with the individual bondholders was that someone created a platform, called all of them to comply with a certain agreement and write to their banks. Whatever. There was an agreement. Mm-hmm. I mean, a document that was prepared. I don't want to mention the person's name, but there was a convener. Mm-hmm. Quickly. Yeah. I think that they went to register and registered themselves.
I'm telling you.
And moved swiftly. With the banks, what I have had documents sent to me by my bankers saying that write whether or not you want to be part or you don't want to be part. So I don't think that even if you are in the banks, you cannot exclude yourself, you see. Just that this matter is not something that I can speak authoritatively on. So whatever I say, I'm being very careful.
Will not be used against you in the court of competent jurisdiction.
Yes, I'm being very careful. And to say that the only challenge that I have is the threat that is being issued by some people on social media, whose names I don't want to mention because of where I'm sitting right now, and saying that if you don't agree to be included, you may not even get anything. And the
actually,
rest of it,
from the right Hub's view, there is a possibility that if you do not include yourself, it means that no one is going to work with your money for you.
Yeah, but
and so you lose.
But that is fraud.
And where will you go and challenge the fraud? Court?
Yes. That is fraud. If I am in an agreement with you, I give you 100,000, and the agreement is that give me 120,000 in 3 months. You have signed that document. And then 3 months comes, and you don't even come humbly. You don't come humbly. The agreements that we have with people, we go humbly, we negotiate, we agree, we move on. And that is what happened initially, okay? When you are talking about contract law, offer, acceptance, consideration, all of that has been done. The parties in the contract have the right mind, they have the capacities, and all that, okay? So everybody must comply with the agreement, unless there are vitiating factors. What are the vitiating factors here?
We are in crisis. And
now, who caused the crisis?
That one is political. I'm not going there. But there's crisis. The government needs money, and there's money. So the question is, public policy. We weigh, is your money so important than the whole country going down? Or we should use your money to save the country? And that's public policy. And public policy will tell you that if it is done in the interest of the country. And so which court are you going to enforce this?
No, but we still have to negotiate it because it is private people's money.
And they negotiated with the banks because we went through the banks. The individual came together and they've negotiated. Now the banks are supposed to negotiate on our behalf. The bank is silent.
I'm thinking that if I'm your lawyer, I'll sue the bank.
Instead of the government.
Yes. Because your contract is with them. Direct.
All the banks will collapse.
That's what I am thinking here as a lawyer, dear. That's what is in my mind right now. If
Please.
I have a contract with you, Anita, I've given you 100,000. You are a bank. Eh? I brought my money to you and we signed the documents in your name. Anita.
But frankly speaking, they can bring the issue of frustration. Okay, so frustrate. What are we talking?
I think that there should be a black Ben. Eh?
Okay.
In the US, there's somebody called Black Ben. When things happen, he just goes to test the law. So somebody should test this law and let's see.
So frustration generally means that, let's say, for example, we have a contract, right? Between the two of us, we have a contract. But something external has happened that you shouldn't expect me to be able to do what I said I would do. So, example, someone will give you an example. Or like say the act of God. Say I'll bring you 2 cars. The cars were on the sea, and there's a storm, and the cars have sunk.
There's a tsunami.
There's a tsunami, and the cars have sunk. And you are still expecting the car in 1 week time. It's not possible. You see, the act of God means that something external beyond our control has happened. So you can't come for what you said you will come for. You understand? So when a person uses that, all things being equal, it is a defense. And you can't do anything about it.
So what is the act of God in this matter?
The whole country is sinking. And so they need money.
This is a very political topic.
I'm not going to do political. But it's so frustrating. Okay, so let me...
Take me to those parts.
No. That shall not lead me to temptation. Yeah, I understand.
In my head, I
understand. So let me ask you this question, finally. In these trying times, what will be your general advice?
General advice,
Yes, in terms of movable properties, do you still think people should think of investing in movable properties? Or maybe you all should be thinking of the landed properties.
You see, you have to diversify your investments. You can't have all your things in one basket. It's also dangerous. Now, assuming we all go to build and there's a building glut, what will happen? Nobody wants to rent because everybody has their own house. Everybody has their own cottage. Everybody has their own resort.
Where's the land for everybody to build?
Oh, but the land is there.
Unless you don't want Accra. Your workplace is in Accra and the land is somewhere in the north.
No, even in Accra, you know what we can do? If the first generation people build a 4-bedroom here, they should build a foundation that will take 10 stories.
For generations.
Yes. And then leave the top. And everybody will come and be doing. So we won't have a problem.
Acquiring properties now in Ghana is becoming... It's like... And if you do acquire properties, in a way, you become a pauper. You can't do hand to mouth.
There is always a way out. You see, the way out is to go for proper advice. The way out is to do the due diligence. The way out is to be careful with quick fixes.
Sure.
You see?
Sure.
Be careful with quick fixes. Be careful with, if you bring this money here, I'll do this for you. That kind of thing. Be careful with, because of the times in which we are in, be careful of your own expenditure and your own tastes. Can I go on?
Yeah.
And then be careful with generally how you manage your even mental state. You see, it has to be a holistic shift from how we look at life. You understand? So even if you're not going to invest in securities and all those things, we are not discouraging you. Invest some of them there because it will resolve. Then come and do other things, like those who like paintings, like those who like watches, like those who like jewelry, like those who like... spread the investment so that when this thing doesn't work, that one will work. When this thing doesn't work, that one will work. Because you cannot be saying that let's all go into immovable. No. We will do small of each so that we can always have money.
Yeah. Our viewers, so we have Kojo Asempa Furniture Works.
Okay.
He's Oyefi Promo. He says, good evening to your listeners from Kojo Asempa Furniture Works. Edum Kumasi. Kojo, I hope you are investing well. Because you see, Nana Andy, Nana Andy Waters says, I love Enter Kitchen Serve the Chop. Great lessons learned. Great lessons learned. Frema says, Anita, this investment wahala. This investment wahala. So last week we talked about movable properties. Today we are talking about movable properties. And we are saying that you have to invest. But as Kezia said, look out. Look out for the right opportunities.
And get advice.
And when it is too good to be true, like men's gold, it is too good to be true. It is too good to be true. Your final words, Kezia.
My final words are that, as I was already saying, investments are very important because this is a Christian station. The Bible says that we should leave an inheritance to our children's children. Don't get angry with what is happening now and decide that as for you, you will chop all your money. You will live anyhow. No. In about a year or two, all these roller coaster will settle. And then those who took advantage of the system today and shifted their mindset, developed new skills, look for other alternative investments, will now be rolling in some money. The banking sector will not collapse because of what is happening. I pray that they will get the relevant wisdom to continue to stay afloat, and that all the issues with bonds and all that too will be resolved. I am asking the authorities to do more stakeholder engagements, reduce the risk of the people who have invested, because those who are older, when they describe how they feel about the way the thing has been spread out in terms of when they will be paid, it is not looking too good, even though we agree that every investment has risks associated with it. People went into these investments believing that the risks will be minimal. So we pray that all the stakeholders will come together and go to a retreat, try and find the best
retreat.
Yes,
they should drink tea and go and pay themselves again. They will do in this economic crisis.
Brainstorming on how to minimize the risk of individuals.
We don't have money
like you. They don't need to go and be eating when they go for the retreat. This is fasting retreat.
Ghana, they are going for meetings. Don't drink tea.
Fasting. Because we are in trouble.
Tea and champagne.
When you're in trouble, you don't drink tea. You fast. So that is my advice, that they should go and brainstorm, think about how they will minimize, especially for those who are much older. And come back and say some things that would help. Do the needful, begin to pay up gradually. Find the money on the international market. Settle your people so that certain things that we fear would happen doesn't happen. I don't want to make any pronouncements here. I'm not supposed to. Because it's not good when the temperature of the people is very high, when people are very distraught, frustrated, angry. They cannot be angry for too long. But don't also be angry. Find a way of mitigating your losses if you have made any loss under the current circumstances. Find a way to mitigate it. Think through carefully your portfolios. Begin to shift a little bit of your portfolios. I know that some of you are hardest hit, and your portfolio is a particular location, and now if you want even your 10,000, they are cutting it to 7,000 and things like that. But still.
So do you think it's advisable to go for it now and get to 7,000? Because they'll tell you money at hand is better than in the future. So it's 10,000, they give you 6,000. Do you think that is better than waiting for 5-6 years when they'll give you the money and the interest is negligible and you don't even know how they're going to even spread it as time goes on?
These matters, my sisters, you already know. It depends. Lawyers don't say yes or no. It depends on a lot of factors, my brother and my sister. You look at your circumstances, your situations. If you have a support system that is strong, and I always advise people to have support systems. You must have a support system that can give you some things when you need them. You should have built them, and then in a rainy day like this, when somebody wants to cut your hair and you want to dodge it, then you go for support system. Otherwise, if your circumstances is like that, depending, you have to consult and be sure. Maybe you won't allow a full haircut. You can allow a little bit and things like that. You know, always try to dodge. So go for advice and dodge. And I'm telling you that the advice that you would minimally pay for when you are not in crisis is always the best than the one that you pay for when you are in a big mess. And now somebody is chasing you and the lawyer says, well, put this down or I'm not coming, and things like that. I thank you all kindly.
Thank you. Yeah, I can't send me brave. I can't send me brave. No, even let me summarize what I had. I can say, a woman, banks names can be allocated. I buy so or chim. A being. The question is said, then you say, nay, to sue your popo when you say, at the end of the day, no, an ASU bank now, see bank, so a bank like I say, no, I government so they to is share be to so what the courts cry and call ye. And the question is say, then ye, we see canon, then I ye. Yent means na ha encounter then it's now betting me any na, but maybe to me I catch on and say, it's a bank me fro, sebe sign a document to be. Now koho now uko sign ready document ne. No what sign it. Unim ne wom ye ma copy. Patron sign ye no. Yeah, the legal side of things. Maybe a financial people no will look at the financial side of things. But you the legal side of things. Men ko sign the agreement a unim ade wom. So bo. If possible, I catch yourself a copy. Now they are about lawyer one hour be fear be bobo mo so bet me a or bobo me make sure say what you say now ube yes ube person men sir answer why because you see I send a econo one drain fast now one think is smarter a drone a beton e wenyanto tipacho hwe ye man in the last week you know your show say your properties be even immovable properties. Properties are, I to say, dying as I say, in a farm. And no, one type of property in the last week. And then they know I discussed different movable properties. To say car, to say jewelry, to say painting, to say shares, treasury bills, and also another kind of property. Men for we need en share back pim. Because what they share assassin ko mo kayo. Say before beton assassin a check. Who here skade aye bibi papa sisi a na wo property ni aye asase a. Time na wo ton assassin no. Na when you scan the aye. Now the koye immovable so what do we call immovable so ko to say car and jewelry car betimi anya accident. Jewelry no bi betimi area. Treasury bill ne bonds e say betimi protect e kakra no sisi a no. Ye hu say eduka daya. See you wake a crack, no I wake a crack, no I wake a crack. Ye ne bibi kakra. Business be so and all the papa, the question business be pusumu kakra. See how. Na emboa enia. So we are done with today's session. And so there's our grand finale for season 2. God willing, we will start season 3 as I said earlier, somewhere in May, June. And I'm praying that if you've saved, we've all saved, the rainy season will end so that the dry season will start because people are really, really suffering. I also want to tell you that I want to say a few shout-outs. So our team, I'm usually the person you see here, but trust me, there's a whole team behind doing a lot of the work. So we have our head of production, that's Nia Iti Hammond, wonderful. I call her my producer extraordinaire. For a while now, she's been coming late. So the extraordinaire, no crime, maybe yefino so. Dinah Japoku, she's been wonderful. Another producer who is in charge of research, That's Robert Suma. Robert has been missing in action for a while. A wonderful lawyer as well. We have another lawyer, Stella Ajua Denchi. She's also a producer in charge of research. Obeka says episode 7, a lady was the one who hosted it. Yes, that's Stella. And she's part of our research team as well. Last week, we had Justice Otain also hosting on also production team. And he's also a producer in charge of research. Hopefully, as the seasons go on, our 2 other research persons, and the 3, you see them also being, also hosting. So please, you've been wonderful. And I'm praying that when they come, you give them the same support as well. And then we have the coordinator and the media person. And actually, he's our team lead. That's Kwame Asamoah-Mensah. We teach him how I. Rani, we teach him how. So that is it. And then Hope Channel itself, we have a whole production team. You see, I seated here, the camera, everything is a production team. So we are so grateful. We are so grateful. And I have some people, I usually call them the promoters. When you do something wrong, how these people will come and tell you, Anita, you didn't do this right, and you didn't say this right, and you did. All our promoters, we are so grateful, so grateful. Mr. Sebodi, sure say, but there are some people I can't refuse not to mention their names. So, Keksi, thy word, Kojo Damefe. And then Keksi, we are so grateful. Nia Shiti Arnold Tete. Belinda say Gloria can come, Edu Poku, lawyer Patience Akoni, Grace Jenny, Emmanuel Mofa Sapon, lawyer Fred, Guru Samson, Bernard Foche, Samuel, Ejapon Nakwa, Evans Kojo, Ejapon, Jennifer Aflo, Daniela Nanaya Smith, Ella, University of Winneba, Hi, the Ofosuentry family, and many more. Mambo dia Okahobi. We are grateful. You've been supportive. I'm hoping season 3, obey cram and I and to our guests, to have someone seated here for 1 hour. Lawyer Bako, or say send a case kind. When the lawyer gives you 1 hour, with her way, usually it's nothing less than 1,000 Ghana cedis for consultation. She came to sit here. Transportation money. What you say? And so all our guests who had come season 1, season 2, we are grateful. We are praying season 3, you come even more and help the show do well. I also want to say shout out to Godfred Adumaba Kwesi say on or share your way. And most importantly is you, our viewers. Because without you, Obeka say, who are we? So we are praying that you continue to be with us. And if you have any question whatsoever, if you have any contribution, if there's a topic you want us to discuss, you go to Facebook or any of our social media handles. Or even go to Facebook, the Law Chamber, Ghana. All the videos are there. You can watch it again. You can send a memo, send a request. We will do it for you. If you want to be part of the promoters, you send a message there as well, and they will promote it for you. God willing, as I said, season 3 is really coming up very soon, and we are grateful. So before season 3 will come up, I want us to all stay safe, be well, and then I hear that the Bible Society of Ghana is going to have their week very soon. You'll be seeing so much on the social media sites and all that. So if you go to Facebook, I think they are there as well. The Bible Society of Ghana. Join them for their week. Please, stay safe. Think smart. And remember, God has got us all. Amen. Stay blessed.
Amen.